inaugural Hall of Fame press conference. I just want to introduce the former players that are here today to congratulate Adrian. And these are alphabetical, so there's no, it's alphabetical. Mike Adams, Elvis Andrus, Robinson Chirinos, Shin-Soo Choo, Craig Gentry, Cole Hamels, Derek Holland, Ian Kinsler, David Murphy, Darren Oliver, Tanner Sheppers, Sean Tollison, and Michael Young. So it was a good group that came out today. Again, there are no one-on-ones in this press today. Going to get on a plane, fly to Cooperstown here very shortly. Press conference tomorrow is at 12 noon Eastern time in Cooperstown. Other question I'm sure we're going to get is, are we going to honor Adrian? Plans are underway after the induction that the Rangers will certainly honor him this season. And with that, I want to introduce Hall of Famer class of 2017, Yvonne Rodriguez, who's going to make a special presentation. And then the newest member of the Hall of Fame, the class of 2024, Adrian Beltre.
Adrian, congratulations. Welcome to the family. Welcome to Cooperstown. Thank you. Enjoy your day. It'll be a long day today, but make sure you get a 10-minute speech when you get in general. So congratulations. Well deserved. Congratulations. Appreciate it. Thank you.
My hair.
Okay, I think he just wants to take questions, right? You want to say it?
Yeah, let's go straight to it.
Wait to be called on.
You know they're coming.
Questions in the back.
Of all the places you played, it seemed like Texas was the best spot for you. It's why you made yourself a Hall of Famer. Why was Texas so good for you?
Because you were here. Definitely is a big part of my career, and definitely where I end up being more productive consistently. But I found that when I got here, it was the right spot for me. I got the great teammates. The front office was supportive of me and my family, and I just felt that the team we had, it was a team to compete, and that would make it easier for me to just get out there and just play the game.
Emily?
Adrian, how big was, that group of guys, a lot of which are sitting right here, in bringing out that personality and that joy that you played the game with, and that probably, I would assume, translated to the way you played as well?
It was big. It was big. First of all, I got here with a great team that I went to World Series the year before. Having the leaders that they had here, Michael, Ian, Elvis, the bunch of guys. I can go down the list. They made me feel comfortable, and that was the reason why I felt, I can be just one of these guys and have fun and play the game hard. And when you're winning, it's easy to have fun. And we were winning a lot. So for me, it was just come out here, enjoy what I was doing, and just play the game.
Hey, you are here. You talked.
I am here.
You talked yesterday about what this organization meant for you, but you did come up a Dodger, and people do want to know on the Hall of Fame
Yeah,
plaque.
everybody want to know. I want to know too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you know yet?
I don't know.
You haven't made a decision.
I mean, I can't say anything. The Hall of Fame is supposed to announce that. You want me to tell you?
Yes.
I can't.
Do you have any? Do you have any thoughts on how important you want the Rangers to be in your part of the Hall of Fame?
Say that again?
Do you have any thoughts on how important you want the Rangers to be portrayed as your induction in the Hall of Fame?
I assume. I think this is an important decision, and the Rangers have been super great to me. So that's all I can say right now.
Other questions? Steph?
Adrian, of all the personal moments and benchmarks that made you a Hall of Famer, is there one that sticks out for you, or is there one that fans bring up to you the most? Like the 3,000th hit, or a cycle, or an awesome defensive play?
Hard to say, but I think it had to be the dozen hit because somehow that kind of give you the little push. But I can't say certain that that's what it is.
How special was that moment, by the way, with your kids coming to meet you on the field and your family celebrating that with you?
It was super special. The whole thing was just, it was surreal. I'd never expect to get to that point, to get 3,000 hits. Somehow I got there. But the way that the Rangers fixed stuff around me, because I had no idea what they were doing, and had that event when it happened, have the family on the field, had that logo on the right field, it was something really cool that I really appreciate what they did.
Adrian, back here. Over here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you just describe what it was like getting the call, that moment? So many Hall of Famers talk about the build-up to it, and then I can't imagine what that moment was like for you. Can you talk a little about that?
Do I have to?
I'd prefer it if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
I'm not the guy that like to be in the middle of attention, and I don't like that. I would feel uncomfortable. But yesterday was just expected because, you know, the boats show like I had a pretty good chance. It was easier for me to kind of enjoy it and have family around because in the beginning, I don't want to have anybody in the house until my family kind of told me, hey, you have to have somebody because it looks like it's looking good. But they convinced me, so I had some family in the house and they prepared a little something, and you allowed cameras to come in. But overall, I just want to get it over with. You know, I think that the waiting is a little uncomfortable for me, and I'm glad and lucky and honored that I got that call yesterday. But it was a day that it seems like a long day, but it hasn't sink in yet because yesterday was kind of crazy with the family and moving around and doing interviews and other stuff. And getting up in the morning, you gotta fly over here. But I haven't sit down yet with the family, kind of enjoy it yet, because it's being a little crazy over the last 20 hours.
Adrián, Eric Mora de Telemundo. En español, ¿nos podría decir qué significó para ti o qué significa para ti ser un nuevo miembro del Salón de la Fama y cómo viviste estas últimas horas, cómo lo recibiste? ¿Cómo has vivido desde que ya se oficializó esta inclusión tuya al Salón de la Fama?
Bueno, sí, obviamente significa mucho para mí. Es importante saber que yo no jugué para estar en este renglón Salón de la Fama. Pero obviamente es un honor, bien recibido. A mí siempre me ha gustado ser respetado como yo juego o como jugaba. Y ahora que me pongan en ese renglón de los Salón de la Fama, para mí es algo muy importante. Con relación al día de ayer, como yo lo esperé con la familia, esperando a ver si en realidad la llamada iba a ser positiva. Obviamente hay siempre un rejuego de si va a pasar o no. Hasta que la llamada te llamen, pues es lo real. Y de verdad que fue un día que la familia estaba esperando con mucha ansiedad, pero gracias a Dios pasó y ahora mismo no te puedo decir exactamente cómo me siento porque ha sido todo muy rápido, pero estamos contentos de que haya pasado ya.
Hey, Adrian, when you've been
I talked to you yesterday, right?
you talked to Evan too.
Okay.
Hey, when you go to Cooperstown, when you've been in the past and you've gone through the museum, is there any player that you've been like, wow, I really admire this guy, or I might be alongside him one day? That's maybe blowing your mind.
I can go down the list. I mean, I was talking to my teammates out there, like just the fact that my name is going to be called next to Willie Mays, Ken Griffin, Poch Rodriguez, Pedro Martinez. It blows my mind that I'm going to be in the podium soon next to those guys. It's nothing higher than that. I'm honored, I'm humble, because I don't see myself like those guys. I don't really belong, But I'm gladly that people recognize what I did and they thought that I was worthy of it. But it's just, it still has a sink in. It blows my mind.
Adrián, por acá atrás, Pedro Silva, Univisión Dallas. Bueno, primero felicidades obviamente por esta hazaña
Gracias.
y preguntarte, ¿qué significó para ti en tu carrera esta franquicia, los Texas Rangers, y el poder verlos ganar una serie mundial recientemente?
Los Rangers para mí significaron algo muy importante en mi carrera. Fue la organización que realmente me cementó como ser más reconocido y tener el chance de lograr lo que todo jugador quiere lograr, que es tener chance de jugar en la Serie Mundial. Obviamente lo pudimos hacer, sabemos qué pasó, pero claro, obviamente siempre agradecido de la manera que se han portado conmigo, con mi familia, cuando jugaba y después que jugaba. O sea que para mí tienen un lugar muy especial. Y con relación a... ¿Cuál fue tu segunda pregunta? La Serie Mundial, obviamente yo estuve también aquí apoyándolo y gracias también a ellos que me invitaron a ser parte, junto con Ian y con Michael, a estar ahí para ver el gran logro que hicieron, porque para mí fue, aparte de que estuve contento que lo hicieron, pues también fue como un despojo, porque me sentía un poquito culpable de que nosotros, el grupo que teníamos en aquel año 2011, que era el equipo para ganar, y de traerle un campeonato aquí a Texas, y no pudimos lograrlo. Así que el grupo el año pasado lo logró y para nosotros fue una hazaña que no pudimos lograrlo, pero como nosotros no jugando, pero como fanáticos, claro que me disfruté.
Adrián, nos mantenemos en español. Carlos Ravelo de Telemundo 39. Está de fiesta la República Dominicana, un orgullo latino. ¿Cuál es tu mensaje para esos peloteros que anhelan llegar a Cooperstown? ¿Cuál consideras tú que fue la clave y lo que te llevó hasta ahí? Gracias.
Yo creo que trabajo y perseverancia. Saber que tú no juegas solamente para números, tú juegas para tu equipo y juegas para tú dar lo mejor de ti. Mi carrera fue un poquito diferente que otros. Obviamente yo empecé un poquito más lento y pude enfocarme más o encontrar lo que era mi parte de juego, aprender más quién era Adrian Beltré jugando defensivamente y también ofensivamente. Pero yo estaba completamente seguro de que tenía las herramientas para ser mejor jugador. Y lo encontré y me enfoqué y pude enfocarme en qué tengo que trabajar yo para ser mejor yo. Y eso me ayudó a ser más consistente y a tener más experiencia. Y obviamente también tener buenos compañeros y buen equipo también tuvo mucho que ver con eso.
Other questions? Right there. Yeah.
Adrian, congratulations. You say that you don't feel like you belong with those other guys in the Hall of Fame. Did you ever think about this moment happening growing up in the Dominican? And was there a moment during your playing days here where you felt like this moment could happen?
I never thought about this happening. I started playing the game because I love the game. I came to the minor leagues and I came to the big leagues. I never saw myself as a Hall of Famer. Never even thought about I want to be a Hall of Famer. Never did. I wanted to play the game. I wanted to enjoy what I did. I want to be respected. I want to be the best I could be, but I never thought about Hall of Fame or getting to 2,000 hits. That was not me. That's why I say I'm blown away because I'm standing right here asking questions about Hall of Fame. But definitely, it's going to sink in. I'm going to enjoy it because this is really cool.
When it does sink in, what do you think that will be like? Will it be emotional?
I'll let you know when it happens.
Looking forward to it. And just finally, you talked about just being more productive when you got here and some of the things conducive to that. Why do you think it was such a flip for you in your career?
To begin with, I think that the team that we had is just loaded with great hitters that I learned a lot from. It was more of I don't have to be the guy and just be one of them. Is the fact that the ballpark was more friendly than the ballpark that I played before. And I had more experience, and I have better hitting coaches, and I learned things in my swing that it took me a little longer to learn, to master what I need to do to work, to be more consistent. And there's no doubt that, I could have done that earlier. I wish I could have found out earlier. But it took me longer to understand what my swing was and how I can be more consistent. And I think I found this in Texas. It was all the reasons I told you, I think, as part of it.
So since you
You
hate,
again?
yeah. Since you hate being the center of attention, and since you have incredible respect for the game, how are you handling the idea of speaking at the Hall of Fame?
Oh,
in
you
July?
just screwed up the whole interview. I don't want to think about it. I can't speak English to save my life. That's one. And two, I hate speaking in public. I don't know how I'm doing this right now. But once I get there, I have a lot of friends and family. They already commit to help me do the speech. That once that time comes, we'll see what we do with that. But I don't want to think about that because that would be probably the least more happy moment in that day. Because I don't want to do that. I hope my wife can stand up for me and speak. But it's a good problem to have, so I'll figure it out.
Other questions? Stephanie?
Adrian, I realize if the whole thing hasn't sunk in yet, the idea that you were a first ballot and received 95% of the vote, 19th highest ever, is that going to take a while to sink in, all those kind of things?
Yeah, I think so. I knew that I had a chance to get in the first ballot. I didn't expect this. I'm humbled. I'm grateful for the writers that vote for me because, I seen in years before how that works. And I don't think you're going to be near that. But it kind of helped my family, helped me be more relaxed that day because, once you get up there, it's easier to get in. I didn't want it to be, I don't think anybody wants to be around 75, 80 the last day without, probably half of the vote without knowing what's going on. So, but I'm gladly, I'm happy that went that way, but I never expected that.
Were you happy that your son and wife were giving you the percentage updates, or were you telling them, no, I don't want to hear it? Or
Myself, I never looked. I didn't want to do that, but I didn't need it to look because my son and my wife they were on it. So, and the reason why my wife was doing on it more because she was pushing me to have family in the house, and I didn't want that. And my son he's a baseball nut, so he's always looking into stuff. But yeah, but even though I don't want updates, my wife created like a family chat for that. And they're, we're 75 today, we're 80, so, all right. About to block her from my cell phone, but she's lucky I love her so much.
Besides being a great player and besides being a guy who speaks very well English and
Thank
and
you for lying to my face, but it's okay.
and who will do very well on the podium next summer, when you were on the field, you had a lot of fun. I mean, with Felix, the whole on deck thing, with that nutty shortstop sitting next to you. What was it about you that allowed you to express so much joy on the field while being a very competitive player?
Well, to start, like I love the game. I love baseball, and that's all I wanted to do since I was a little kid. And I lost a little bit of that along the way, thinking that this is a business. And once I started to try to play the game for the fans, in the sense of asking, because you got this contract, you have to perform this way. And it was too much for me. Once I figured out that, just play the game that you were playing when you were a little kid. You enjoy it and you were good at it. That's when I find out that, if I just play the game and have fun and enjoy it, it'd be easier for you just to do your job, right? So I went through hard times in Seattle. I have some tough times that I did not enjoy the game. And after that, I said, what's the worst that can happen? I can have a worse freaking year than this. So I said, I just enjoy it, and some of my teammates helped me doing that. And when I got here, it was easier to do that too. We have great guys, great teammates, and I just started enjoying myself, and I always wanted to enjoy myself, but not to respect anybody. So it was hard to find that gray area which you just enjoy yourself without, pissing everybody off. So I hope I did it okay, but I was just trying to be myself. But it's easy to have fun when you're winning, and when we were here, we were winning a lot, so that helped a lot too.
So you're not going in alone. Can you talk about Joe Mauer and Todd Helton, what your thoughts are on them, and even Jim Leland?
Great guys. Todd Helton, I was coming up with the Dodgers in '98. He was already in the big league, Todd, and what a hitter! Consistent hitter every year. I believe that he should have been in a couple of years ago. Super nice guy. Always talk to you when I used to go to first. Now I didn't get to first a lot, but when I used to get to first, he would talk to me. He always, if you have a question for him, he was always answer. He was always nice to me, and I find that shocking because back then when you came to the big league, my long time ago, like, veteran guys, they are good. They don't really talk to young guys or rookies. It was not like that. So when guys like that, like Todd Helton, and Derek Jeter, those guys like talked to me when I was young. Like, oh man, these guys are. And after that, I got immense respect for that guy, and he was always good to me. He was super nice guy. And Joe Mauer, I talked to him a lot. We went to a couple Nike trips together. I got to know him really well, and what a nice guy and what a great hitter. They're both deserving to be there, and I'm happy. I can't wait to join the podium with them.
Time for two more. Anything else?
Adrian, more than 95% of the vote, which means that a very, very small handful of writers have proven that they know absolutely nothing about baseball. So
They told me you won the one that didn't vote for me. Were you? John, that's the guy? Oh, that's not the guy.
And actually, what is your message to those people, those very, very few people who left you off their ballots?
There's no message for those people, man. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm surprised that I was a 95. I did not expect everybody to vote for me. I wasn't even close to my mind. I was telling my wife yesterday, like, they were showing that we had, I'm gonna be shining all day because we had to. So at one point, I was walking by the kitchen and TV was on and they were looking at something and I look up and I saw like 99. I'm like, how the hell am I 99? Like, is that a typo? Because I just don't see myself that high. When you get Ken Griffin Jr. didn't get to 100%. You got Jeter didn't get 100%. You go down the line, the players, they should be voting 100%. Where am I in the 90s? But gladly, I'm grateful. It made it easier for me and my family to expect something was going to happen. But I do not expect everybody to vote for me. So I have nothing negative about those guys. They have their job. They have to believe you can do whatever. It's a free speech, right? You can do whatever you want. So, I know that some people are not happy about that, but I can care less.
One more question.
We saw Albert's message to you last night after the announcement on MLB Network. Was there anybody in particular that you heard from in the last 24 hours?
Oh gosh, Emily, I have literally 1,500 text messages on my phone.
So that's why you haven't returned my text?
Yes.
Okay.
The one you sent me last year, they haven't replied. Yeah. It's been plenty of people that haven't get to it. I tried to catch up yesterday. It was impossible. I'm gonna sit down once I got some time and do that. But it's plenty of people I haven't seen. But I got calls from Pujols, Pedro Martinez and John Daniels, and down the list I got Jim Leyland, Jim Thome, Barry Larkins, you name it. It's been Larry Walker. So it's been Joe Torre. Yeah, I'm getting back to the text from yesterday. It's been great, and I'm humbled to just get a text from those guys. But I'm pretty sure they have some of the people there, but I haven't get to it.
Okay, so if you need a couple of these guys like Michael or Elvis to do one-on-one, to do groups about Adrian, they'll stay. Adrian and Sandra have got to get out of here.
Yeah, we're getting kicked out.
So,
All right, John, we're out of here.
got to fly to Cooperstown, but thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, guys.
No, but they're gonna be here for a couple minutes.
Got it right? You always got it. Come on.
Elvis, how would you describe Adrian as a teammate? How much did he mean to you? Can you just talk a little about this whole situation today, what it means to you to see a guy who you care a lot about getting this honor?
It means a lot, man. I've seen Adrian kind of like a big brother for me. You know, he's been my mentor, still being my mentor so far. But, you know, kind of like family. I'm so excited. He's still, you know, I played with him for 8 years, so I knew back then that he was going to be a Hall of Fame. I think he's being too humble right now, but we all knew that he was going to be there if he stayed healthy, and he was able to stay healthy. So, I mean, right now I got no words. We've been talking for like 2 weeks into this point, and I keep telling him, like, it's going to happen, like, you know, and the time is going to, you know, those days going to go by really fast, and he was like, yeah, don't talk to me about it. Like, I don't even want to think about it, but I think he knew. I think he knew about it, and was super excited, man. I can't wait until July. I'm gonna do whatever is possible moving forward in my next contract to be part, you know, to be there that day. But you know, I think that, you know, it's just an amazing feeling, you know, play with somebody or have so many memories and go through my journey. And now him going to the Hall of Fame to Cooperstown is, wow, it's very mind blowing.
We saw so many interactions between you and him on the field. We know there was stuff off the field. Any of them stand out? What's one of your favorite memories and one of your favorite interactions with him?
It's hard to say one, man. It was pretty much every day. It was something new. I mean, from, you know, pop-ups to like just being in the dugout. Like, you know, I'm very sorry for you guys weren't able to hear what we were talking, but it was like a, you know, like a series pretty much. For 8 years. It was a lot of fun on the field, off the field. I mean, he was in my wedding. I'm ages, you know, stepfather pretty much, godfather. So like, you know, we always trying to make trips, you know, with our wife and just maintain this relationship. Kind of like a nice bromance, you know, we talk about it. But it's just fun, man. I mean, you know, I'm very excited for him and, you know, everything that we went through in the field. I still miss that. You know, that's the toughest part for me playing still. You know, having him next to me is, you know, it gets me sad. But at the same time, you know, I know he's still pulling for me and we talk every single day. But, you know, today is about him and, you know, very glad that he's going through that.
But you like playing that role of annoying little brother.
Oh, I love it, man. It's not as fun because I'm in the other side of the movie now. I'm the older in the team, so now I got all the guys to be annoying to me. But yeah, man, I love it. I mean, it was just, you know, so much fun until this day. I still hate it, so I'm gonna keep doing it as long as, you know, we're alive.
Elvis, he joined in 2011. How quickly did it take you all to become big brother, little brother?
I think not even a week, man. I think since first day it's been training. I mean, we were, you know, our locker was next to each other. And for sure, you know, the previous year, you know, when he was in Seattle, we got to talk to him when I was in third. And then when he was in Boston, we were in the All-Star game together. And I was able to talk to him and get close to him. So when he got to Texas, it was literally like the first week, it just happened. It was just like automatically, like our personality, you know, kind of like they're very similar. And for me, it was just, he will show me the way, you know. I see him and he was like, see myself in the future, you know. I wish I was that talented, but it was just that way. And you know, he always been so nice since day one for me. He wanted me to be the best. He always, that's why you guys saw him sometimes so mad at me, because he always, you know, kind of like a big brother, you know, always trying to make me be the best, you know, my best version, and he's still until this day. So, you know, it was just so many great memories, and, you know, I'm just so happy, you know, for him right now.
Elvis, you got to be here for his entire tenure. You heard him just talk about really figuring out his swing during his time here. What was your vantage point like seeing his transformation into a Hall of Fame player, and maybe parts of that people don't know about or didn't really get a chance to see?
Yeah, he really did. I mean, we all knew, especially the year before when he was in Boston, he had a monster year. And I remember I was back in Venezuela playing winter ball when I saw that we got Adrian. I was like, oh my God, like we're back in the World Series, because you knew what kind of player he was and what he can bring for the team. So, you know, the points that he's mentioned about him being able to come here and not being the guy, because I mean at that point, you know, we had Michael, we had Josh, Nelson, so many weapons and great hitters in our team. So I think it helped him to just relax, enjoy the game, and when you have that much talent and that much experience, and you able to relax and be in a good environment, I mean, Hall of Fame, that was his destiny, and very happy. Not just me, I think all of his teammates and the people that know him, very happy because we know Adrian not just as a player, we know as a human being, and I always say he's a better human being than a player, and that's very hard to say that.
Elvis,
Guys, we gotta do one more. Gotta get Michael in here.
Elvis, he talked about, Adrian talked about how much he was able to show more of his joy for the game after he came here. Do you feel like you were the one that might have drawn that out of him the most?
No, that'd be very selfish of me. Like I said, I think it was a group effort. Like I say, I mean, for sure, I was on my 20s. I was a lot of fun. It's a lot of energy. But Michael was there. He was our leader when Adrian came here. Ian was killing the league. Josh being an MVP, Superman. Nelson, then Napoli. It wasn't me. It'd be selfish if I say it was me. I just did my part, just being annoying, just trying to make everything easier for them. When you're a rookie, that's your job. And so for me, it was just that, like bring happiness, getting a good clubhouse atmosphere. And so now it'd be very selfish for me to say it was me. I just did my part, but I think the team that we had, it was just unbelievable.
Elvis, en esta cámara muy rápido, ¿qué significa para ti haber visto a tu amigo, hermano, como tú dices, ser incluido en el Salón de la Fama?
Súper feliz. En realidad tengo hasta más emoción que él. Yo pienso que él ha sido bien humilde hoy de hablar que él nunca pensó que era un Hall de la Fama, pero lo que jugamos con él sabíamos de hace años, antes que se retirara, que los números estaban ahí, y especialmente llegar a los 3,000 hits ya lo iba a hacer un inmortal. Así que feliz por él, se lo merece. Es una persona que yo pienso que él es mejor ser humano que pelotero, y para la carrera que él tuvo, ¿sabes? Son palabras grandes, pero contento. A él, a su familia, los conozco, y como prácticamente hermano mayor, súper contento de todo lo que está viviendo de aquí en adelante, y se lo merece.
Otro latino, ¿no? Que llega a ese sueño. Háblame rapidito de eso, por favor.
Sí, no somos muchos los latinos en Cooperstown, así que tener a Adrián en ese salón, súper feliz. Para mí como latino son ídolos para nosotros y para el futuro que viene también. Él es una leyenda viviente, y así que se lo merece, y esperamos que tenga muchos mejores frutos en el futuro.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Elvis.
Hi, everybody. Big enough microphone here?
So, how does it feel your teammates going into the Hall of Fame later on this year?
Yeah, I'm thrilled for the guy. I appreciate the fact that he was being completely humble when he was talking to you guys, because it gives us a chance to brag on him a little bit. For us, 95 is a little shocking on the other end, right? But this is so well deserved, and I think I'm glad that he made an interesting point yesterday, knowing that he was trending in such a dominant fashion. He was able to kind of enjoy yesterday, knowing that he was going to sail in. So I think that I'm super happy for him to have that opportunity where he was able to enjoy it with his family. I think he was definitely telling the truth when he said he didn't want cameras in his house. So for him to kind of like sacrifice that so everyone can experience it with him, so fans can experience it with him, speaks to the kind of person he is. So again, I'm thrilled for Adrian. It's so well deserved.
Was there a point during you guys' time together where you're like, yeah, this guy is a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, that's a really great question. First year. Yeah, because you start realizing that the guys who Adrian was an everyday player and he was 19, right? So you start seeing, head start's the wrong way to put it, because it's well earned to be a 19-year-old everyday player, but you see the numbers, they start stacking up at such a young age. And then he comes to us his first year, and I'd played against him for years in Seattle, knew he was a really good player, but right away you start seeing kind of the way he approaches the game. And everyone always asks me that my favorite part about Adrian's game, people talk about defense and great hitter, but to me it was just he was such an intelligent player, one of the smartest players I've ever played with, and it didn't take me long to realize that. So you start talking about a guy who's still young, who's still trying to put up a ton of numbers, and he was just so smart. First year I'm like, 3,000 hits. You start thinking about 3,000 hits, right? You're like, wow, 3,000 hits, this kind of defense, that screams Hall of Famer. So, yeah, first year.
He mentioned the joy that was important for him to rediscover. How much did that impact you and the teammates around you? Was that infectious among the group, him finding that joy again and playing the way he did?
I think so, because he makes a really good point, because I feel like I saw the game in a similar way when you're young and you grow up in that era. Veteran players don't give rookies that kind of latitude that they have now. Nowadays, young players are encouraged to take over ownership of a clubhouse. Back then, it was the classic, right, just be seen, don't be heard kind of thing. So I think he always kind of felt, and I felt the same way, that you just show up, you do your job. And I think for him, in terms of his personality, I think he kind of felt a little held back. And then all of a sudden, he kind of hits a sweet spot of his career where he's very productive and he starts seeing the benefits of just being himself. I think anyone in any job can relate to that. And that's when you start seeing him really, his game really take off. So, yeah, I'm glad he said that, because I think a lot of people can take some lessons from it.
You talk about his humbleness, and he said up there, he doesn't feel like he belongs with those guys. Why do you think he says that? Why do you think he doesn't feel that?
I can only imagine this is a whirlwind, you know. You talk about, like you said, Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., these are like monsters of the sport, right? You walk through that, I'm sure you're going to walk through that, he's going to walk through that room with all those plaques and see his there. That's pretty overwhelming, right? But we know that he does belong, and that's why he's there. That's why he's there and made it in such a convincing fashion. So again, because he did, first ballot, everything, he checked every box to become a Hall of Famer. So again, I'm so happy for him. Again, it speaks to the humbleness of Adrian is one reason why he's so beloved as a teammate.
What part of his game do you feel like you've implemented the most?
I implemented?
Yeah, implemented in your every game.
I don't know. I will say this. I mean, I tried to, for me, I was, TR swallowed this microphone, by the way, just, I came up as a second baseman, and I always felt like I was a natural second baseman. When I went to third, I had to really learn it, right? It wasn't instinctive for me at all. And all of a sudden, Adrian comes in, and I'm seeing someone who's learned it, has a ton of experience, and was super, super instinctive. In his first year with us, I think he yanked a hamstring, and he missed maybe a month, maybe a little more, and I was playing third. So honestly, at that point, I'd seen him playing third for a while, so I was really trying to, again, help myself out, and who better to learn from than one of the best ever. So I would have to say, just trying to see if I can see the things that he was doing so I can make myself a little more consistent defensively.
Adrian said he wasn't able to announce yet if he'll go in as a Ranger, but can you speak to what that would mean for the whole franchise?
Yeah, I think either, honestly, this is not a cop-out, I promise. I think it's huge for the franchise either way. I don't know what the Hall of Fame has planned. I don't know how that even works at all. I'm sure they'll take Adrian's opinion into consideration, but from what I understand, that's the Hall of Fame's call. Whether it's he can go in as a Red Sox, and it's still a huge deal for the Rangers. Adrian was here the longest. He had the best years of his career here. I think he has his number retired here. There's a massive connection between our fan base and Adrian. So there's no denying what he's done in his career and how much he means to this organization, with or without what's reflected on his plaque.
Michael, you knew what kind of player Adrian was when he got here, but what did you know about his personality, and when did you see that personality come out?
Yeah, I think it came out here, really. I got to know him a little bit in Seattle. Again, we played against him so often. And I think, again, another overused word in sports, I really respected the hell out of the guy. Because at that point, he was good. He was really good. He wasn't as good as he was here. He took off here. But he was still a really great player. Defense was crazy. But the reason why I say respect is because Adrian always played hurt. You go into a clubhouse in those days, and, there'd be that newspaper would be sitting right there, and you'd flip through, you're in Seattle, flipping through the local one, you see Adrian Beltré's hurt, he's questionable for tonight. It happened all the time, and he's in the lineup hitting fourth every single night. So that gets your attention right away as an opponent. And then you go out there and he's playing, he's hurt, but he's maintaining his productivity. A lot of guys can play hurt, but their production will suffer. He played hurt, and he was still really, really great. So I think that's where I would say I got the hang of that one for him.
Thanks, Mike.
I was one of the guys he did return a text to, by the way. Just wanted to make sure.
1501.
Hello, hi.
Iván, ¿qué significa para ti ver a tu amigo, ver a Adrian Beltre, ya estando tú siendo un Salón de la Fama, recibirlo a él? ¿Qué significa y qué opinas de todo lo que está
Bueno,
viviendo en ese momento?
para mí, muy contento por él. Obviamente, tener otro latino, ¿verdad? En el Salón de la Fama y verlo, ¿verdad? Conocerlo desde hace muchos años, jugando en contra de él y tener la oportunidad de compartir con él cuando estaba aquí jugando con los Rangers, para mí es, ¿verdad? Me siento muy contento por él. Ahora mismo estaba hablando con él ahora antes de irse y lo que le acabo de decir es que se monte en ese avión y se vaya y disfrute todo. Lo que le viene ahora por los próximos 2 meses va a ser algo que es un sueño. Es un sueño de todos los peloteros. Obviamente él mencionó que él nunca, ¿verdad? Tenía eso en su mente. Yo tampoco. Obviamente eso viene por la carrera que uno hace, pero ya cuando es una realidad, obviamente es algo muy bonito. Llegar ahí, llegar al Salón de la Fama, llegar al museo, ver la placa, ver dónde la placa va a estar, la va a firmar, la parte de adentro. Y es muy bonito, yo creo que se lo merece él, su familia, tremenda carrera, tremendo ser humano. Y no es tan solo el Adrian Beltré que vemos en el terreno de juego, sino el Adrián también que ha hecho también fuera del terreno de juego, para la comunidad, para Santo Domingo, muchas cosas que ha hecho para Santo Domingo y de verdad que estoy muy contento por él.
Iván, tú y Adrián son los únicos dos latinos de esta franquicia en estar en el Salón de la Fama. ¿Qué significado tiene eso para ustedes, considerando lo que significa los Rangers para ustedes?
No, significa mucho, obviamente. Por muchos años esta organización siempre ha tenido muchos latinos. Desde que cuando yo llegué en el 88, obviamente cuando llegué habíamos muchos latinos, inclusive una parte de mi carrera, no sé si me equivoco, fue en 93 o 94, el line-up que teníamos en el Estadio Viejo, casi todos eran latinos, menos Dean Palmer, que era el tercera base, los demás eran latinos, pero verlo a él, ser el segundo como la organización, como latino, eso es bueno para la organización, bueno para esta área, ¿verdad? Ayer yo obviamente estaba en una actividad y ver el desarrollo en el deporte aquí en el área de Dallas, Fort Worth y Arlington, como vamos creciendo. Yo creo que es muy importante para seguir trayendo eventos para aquí, para el área del Metroplex y obviamente pues verlo a él, ser un Hall of Fame como latino y como aquí, como de Texas, es algo muy chévere.
Can you talk a little bit about that, about the fact that he is another Latino and another Ranger going in, and how proud that
Yeah, it's great to see him, another Latin player that is gonna wear the Ranger hat. You know, he's coming as a Rangers. I think is great for the organization. This organization is always bring a lot of Latin players through the years. I remember back when I signed in '88. When I came to spring training, we have a lot of Latin players already in the big leagues. And in '93, '94, when I was already in the big leagues, remember we played games here, and basically the whole lineup was all Latin players, except Dean Palmer. It was the third baseman. All the player was Latin guys. So. That's why this organization for me is in my heart, because they focus a lot in Latin players. They go into Dominica and Venezuela and all those countries and bring the Latino talent into the organization. And it's not only in the past now. If you go to all the affiliates right now, we see a lot of Latin players, good players getting close to playing this level. So having him, having Adrian and myself in the Hall of Famer as a Ranger, I think is good for the organization.
What can you tell Adrian about what it's going to be like next summer when you go to the Hall of Fame? You see your plaque among all the great players. You're hanging out with all those great guys like you and Johnny?
Well, I
Bench?
just see him before he leaves, and I tell him to start enjoy everything from today. You know, he's gonna get in that plane. Actually, he's going in Ray Davis plane, and he's gonna be in Cooperstown, and he's gonna see media there. He's gonna come into the museum. He's gonna see where his plaque is gonna be. He's gonna sign it. And he's gonna enjoy everything. I told him then enjoy everything. It's fun. I told him very honestly, it's gonna be a little stressful when you get closer, you know, because when you're talking with 30,000 people in front of you, I told him the first 5 minutes is gonna be a little nervous, but after that, you're talking from the heart, and basically, I think that's what he's going to do. He has a great family. He's going to help him. But I told him to enjoy everything. It's a dream come true. Obviously, he mentioned that he never expect him to be a Hall of Famer, but guess what? He is, and he's there, and he's going to be in Cooperstown for life. So it's great.
Back in 2017, what was the moment for you when it sunk in, maybe on that visit to Cooperstown, and what was that like? What would that be like for him?
It was unbelievable. It was great. First, it was cold. It was freezing. It was snowing, like what he's going to see when he get there. But it's great. I mean, it's a dream come true. It's a dream that that you never think about it in the beginning, but when you there, you start to feel what that means, and what that means is you're the best of the best, and you there. Think about Hall of Fame is less than 1%. That goes to that room and have the plaque there, and when you're one of those players and you have that plaque there, that gives you goosebumps, because it's an amazing award. It's an amazing accomplishment, and he's gonna start feel it. Trust me, he's gonna start feel it from today, when he's gonna drive that hour 40 from the airport, seeing all those deer going across the street, and when he gets there, there's nothing to do there into July, but when he gets to that museum, he's gonna enjoy that a lot.
Thanks, Bud.
Okay.
Thanks, Bud.
That is a long drive.
Okay.
A lot of deer.
All right.
It's out there.